then at 40, I was like, wait a minute, who is that person? So
40?
I'm now 45.
I thought she was 21.
I am human. He thinks I'm a robot, but I'm not. Okay, I'm ready.
Dipti's ready.
Rock and roll.
I'm ready. Ready?
We're born ready.
1, 2, 3, go. Wow, look, today, both in black.
It's kind of dark green, actually.
I'm in black.
Dark green.
Cool. So, here we go. Episode 6, I think. Would you believe it? Would you believe it?
No. I don't actually believe it.
Incredible. Again, if you haven't seen the first 5 episodes, you are missing out. They are... I mean, words fail me, really. And this episode, I'm not going to say so once, okay?
Okay.
That's my goal. Nearly said it then. Today is about logical levels.
This is my favourite topic ever.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's just so, it's like so obvious. Once you know what the logical levels are and you understand how to kind of incorporate them into your world, life is just so much easier.
Much clearer.
Yeah.
Now, neurological levels was developed by a guy called Robert Dilts, who's a researcher and one of NLP trainer. And we've both been lucky enough to train with Robert. So, what is it? What is it then?
Okay, well, I've got a little diagram. Diagrams are always useful.
Show a diagram.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll get my diagram. Here is like Blue Peter. Here is one I prepared earlier. Now, if you can see this, I'm going to move over here. I'm going to do something really radical.
Oh, it'd be out of focus.
Is that out of focus?
Yeah.
That's out of focus. I won't do that then.
Dear.
Sorry, everybody, it's out of focus. Hopefully you can read that, and that is in focus now. Okay, so if I do like the Dolly Bird thing and I hold out the thing, would you be able to explain?
I can be, like Paul Daniels.
Okay, and I'll be Debbie McGee.
Now, it can be shown in a kind of pyramid way or kind of circular as well, going inwards towards the kind of final core part of it. But let's look at it this way. This is how it was first developed. Very useful for thinking about building rapport and personal change.
Also, logical levels provide a helpful structure for looking at what's happening with any individual, group, or organisation.
It means building rapport with yourself, with other people, and being able to, we all might want to change something in our lives, but what do? You just, I'm just going to change. We have to kind of break it down psychologically into,
steps.
Into steps in a way. Yeah, that would be a...
So give us an example, like, do you mean like if I wanted to change my job, for example?
Yeah.
So how would that apply?
Well, if you wanted to change your job, then you can work through all the different levels. So now let's go through them. So the bottom level is environment, which is the where and the when. I used to do this all the time when I was working in London. That's why I like freelancing. I would get a job. That was always the fun part almost. It was like the chase and get the job. And then after about 3 months, I'd be a bit bored again. So then I'd go and look for another job. And then I'd get a new job and move and then start. And then 3 months later, I'd be bored again.
It's like a serial first dater.
But all I was really doing was changing the environment. I was just going from one company to the other, and it was a bit new to start with. But then pretty quickly it just, it was the same, the same thing, just in a different place.
Yeah.
So, that is kind of the environment.
Okay.
The next level.
Then we go up to this one.
is behaviour. So that is the what. Yeah. So, you know, my behaviour there would have been, well, I just want to change, you know, I want another job. So they're kind of linked, the environment and the behaviour.
So you're actually reacting to your boredom.
Yeah.
Your behaviour is...
Yeah, I'm a bit bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
repetitive of boredom behaviour.
Kind of change the environment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I only did this for about 10 years.
And
So,
but then what happens up here at capability?
well, this is where, you know, you can really start to bring about change, because this is the how, skills, capability. What I could have done is thought, well, this job that I'm doing, you know, isn't rewarding anymore, so I need to learn a new skill. So then, you know, I could have gone away, learnt a new skill, and that would have enabled me to change job, but, you know, really into a different environment, which would have entailed some different behaviour, and I'd have got a different skill.
Okay,
Yeah.
and why would changing your capability be a good thing rather than keep changing your environment?
Well, by keep changing my environment, you know, nothing much was changing, you know, kind of inside of me, really, and internally. You know, it was more of an external thing that was changing, but actually I wasn't changing.
So the more you go up this pyramid, the more kind of personal it becomes, I guess.
Yeah, so...
And the more you go down the pyramid, the more general
Yeah.
it is.
So the more you go up, though, the deeper you kind of get psychologically or neurologically.
So if you were changing your capability and increasing your skill set, what would happen to your own belief system and your values then?
Well, that's the next level then. So, you know, really, you may need to start to look at the beliefs and the values enabled to, you know, to even learn a new skill in a way. Because if you don't believe you can learn a new skill, you're never going to go and learn it. So there's kind of two things here, beliefs and values, you know, are different things, aren't they? You know, so I've got to believe I can beat Dare in the duathlon. I've got to believe I could learn a new skill. But what you're also getting into here is your personal values. You know, what I found with my job was actually it didn't really align with how I saw the world, you know, what was important to me.
Anymore. As in, it did at the beginning, didn't it? But then you changed maybe your perception of the world. And because our beliefs do change, or our values can change, can't they, over the course of our life?
Yeah, massively, yeah. Yeah, what was important to me 10 years before, you know, changed as I got older. Yeah.
So that's why this stuff helps you manage change, doesn't it, really? Because things have to change. There is nothing that stays the same. So this is really literally how to manage change in your own personal, well, psychology, and then how that, I suppose, reflects in your world that you live in. So then what's the identity all about?
Well, the top there, or, you know, if you were doing it as a circle, would be coming close to the core, is your identity, the who. Who are you? You know, why? Why is your beliefs, but now you're into who, which maybe, you know, lots of people don't even ever kind of get to that.
Well, that's a big question, isn't it? You know, when people have midlife crises, they're like, I don't even know who I am anymore. You know, who is this person that I've become? And it's not because you've become somebody different, it's because you've changed and you've suddenly woken up to the fact that you're not the same 20-year-old you were at 40. You know, so I think we go through these certain kind of gateways in our life, you know, maybe where we are changing quite significantly, and the life around us dictates that change as well. Maybe, you know, I can talk about myself in a way that I knew who I was at 20, and I was definite about who I was. Then when I was 30, I was like, wait a minute, that person who was she? I'm definitely not her anymore. I'm definitely this person now at 30, and I knew who I was. And then at 40, I was like, wait a minute, who is that person? So
You're 40, are you?
I'm now 45.
I thought she was 21.
Oh yeah, well, whoops. That's why we've got 90 years of wisdom between us. So now I'm 45. I don't
45?
I don't recognise the 30-year-old part of me anymore because I'm so different, and I'm kind of, moving up towards 5 years to 50. And again, I reckon I'll go into a different, mindset. But that's healthy. That's healthy. You can't be the same person at 50 that you were at 20. I mean, that's the struggle of the aged brain, isn't it? People don't accept aging anymore.
Yeah, we don't accept change, do we?
Yeah.
The only constant is change, isn't it?
Change is inevitable.
Yeah.
So when you get up to identity, you can even go further up than that.
Yeah, or, if you imagine there's these circles coming in, this is the core, the middle of the circle is, we use the word spirit or spirituality, but it's like your connection with something that is bigger than you or more than you.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I always come back to Mr. Elon Musk.
He loves Elon.
But Elon isn't, setting up an electric car company because he wants to make lots of fast cars. He's doing it because, he believes that unless we, move away from fossil fuels, the planet is doomed. So for him, the whole purpose is to, really is to change the world and, move into electrification away from carbon fossil fuels. So
everything he does is done with not just his identity or his beliefs, his capabilities, behaviour, his environment, is also done with that bigger picture.
Yeah, and that's quite rare, I think, And he even said the other day, if Tesla failed, but all the cars shifted over to electricity, using electric, his job was done. Wow. Who, what CEO lives that way,
So, but normal people like me and you, well, we're not normal, but we're more normal than Elon Musk.
She's not normal. Yeah.
So do we have spirit awareness? Do we have that higher purpose?
Yeah, well, I think you have a higher purpose, don't you, in your job as a hypnotherapist?
Can I put my board down?
Yeah.
And also, I need to cough.
Not again.
I'm so sorry.
Poor Dipti's been ill over Christmas because she stopped working, and this always happens when she stops working.
I'm going to cough. I'm going over here to cough.
You cough,
Sorry,
and
I'll be back.
She loves working so much, and she never stops working, and this is what happens. So, poor Dippy do.
Poor me. Anyway, we were talking about higher purpose.
Yeah, so, I think, you do have a higher purpose, don't you? You're not, let's look at your job. Your environment is obviously important to you, isn't it? You've set up your work so you're close to your
This
home.
is my environment, actually. We're filming in my hypnotherapy practice room, and my environment is exceedingly important to me. So, that's tick that box.
And what about behaviour then? The what that you do?
So my behaviour, I always really believe that whatever you do in life, you've got to talk your talk and walk your walk. So my behaviour is always going to be mindful of the fact that I am a solution-focused hypnotherapist. So however I act, whatever I do on social media, how I bring up my children, how I interact with you and have relationships with other people as well, I'm always going to be mindful of the fact that I have to be walking my walk, talking my talk. So that's my behaviour.
That's the what. I just want to read what good old Ian just says about behaviour, because he says the second level is behaviour, the what. This is the level of our specific conscious actions, what we do. In NLP, behaviour includes thoughts as well as actions. What we do is not random. Our behaviour is designed to achieve a purpose, although this might not always be clear even to us. So that's just a bit of
that's
another
like
way of looking
subconscious behaviours as well as conscious.
Yeah, exactly.
behaviours.
Yeah. Now next is the how, skills and capability.
So that's obvious. So my skills and capabilities are always going to be kind of improving, and I'm constantly reading, learning, going to do other CPDs just to maintain my professional development. So that's my skills.
Okay. And then why? This is your beliefs and values.
Well,
why do you do this?
I believe that what we do as solution-focused hypnotherapists has extreme value for everybody's mental health on this planet. So, if I had a mission statement, it would be to help everybody with their mental health.
Wow.
I don't want people to be struggling with anxiety and depression and OCD and fears and phobias and everything that people struggle with, and I think even though that struggle is probably part of the human condition and human behaviour, and I'm not saying that because I'm a hypnotherapist I don't ever have anxious thoughts or depression, because I do, because we're all human. I am human. He thinks I'm a robot, but I'm not. I am human, and I struggle with anxiety and depression as well, but I have a model of coping with it and a system that works, and that's why I'm passionate about doing what I do.
You can see, look at how passionate she is.
I'm so passionate.
No, but that's amazing, isn't it? I mean, you got up into purpose there, talking about, your beliefs and values. So, and then your identity, the who then. Who are you?
Yeah, so if somebody asks me who I am, obviously I'll say my name is Dipti, and the next thing I'll say is I'm a mother of two and a hypnotherapist. They're two kind of parts of my identity that are bonded together. So interestingly enough, the mother of two comes before the hypnotherapist. So it's because I've, even though this is going to be a really odd thing for me to say, but before I had my children, I believed that my career was the most important part of how I defined myself. And then as soon as I became a parent, it's almost like the career took the second rung, the parenting took the first. And that even surprises me. So I think the mother of two thing has taken precedence over the hypnotherapist. But they're still very close,
Okay.
So that's how I define myself.
Let's see what Ian says about the fifth level, identity, the who. Have you heard someone say something like, I am just not that kind of person? That is an identity statement. Identity is your sense of yourself, your core beliefs and values that define who you are and your mission in life. Your identity is very resilient, although you can build, develop and change it.
So you can change your identity. It probably is harder to change your identity than it is, for example, your behaviour or your skill or your environment.
Yeah, well, I think the hard thing is being clear, isn't it, about who you are, and what you want, and and why you want it. It's easy to move job or move house, in theory, but when you're getting to these deeper levels, you've got to dig
deeper.
You've got to dig deep. You've got to ask bigger questions, haven't you?
Well, before I had my children and before I was a hypnotherapist, my identity wasn't the same as it is now. I worked in TV. I was a media lovey, and that's how I used to identify myself. So I literally had to change my identity. But yeah, so I think when you get to these higher levels, you can be less and less attached to them as well.
Interesting.
So because a lot of the time people are really, really stuck to their identities, aren't they? They define themselves as, this is me, I'm always going to be like this, I've never not been like this, I'm never going to change.
Yeah. Yeah. A good example, this isn't completely on identity, and if you're listening, Mum, sorry. But my mum always has fish on a Friday, and she's living in a new place now, and the fishmonger delivers the fish on a Tuesday. But to her, that's no good.
Oh no.
So she doesn't get the fish delivered to her doorstep from a fishmonger on a Tuesday because she only has fish on a Friday. Now,
wow.
that is that is, what level is that then? What level of
But that's a belief,
level?
isn't it? It's a belief. You believe so strongly that one thing has to be done this way, so if it's outside of that belief system, you immediately reject it.
Yeah. But that is to her detriment, isn't it? Because she could get a nice fresh fish delivered on a Tuesday.
And she could put it in the freezer.
My sister said to her, you could freeze it
Yeah.
and then have it on the... But she was like, no, have fish on a Friday.
But the other thing is, interestingly, they also have fish and chip night on a Friday night.
Yeah.
So technically, does she go to that?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's all
Yeah,
right.
of
She gets her
course,
fish
yeah.
on the Friday and she's like, hey, we're all good.
Funny.
You were going to
I'm
say
not
so.
I'm not going to say it. Let's just see what Ian says then about the sixth level, is the spiritual level. This is your connection to others and to that which is more than your identity, however you choose to think of it. Rapport at this level is described in spiritual literature as being one with humankind, the universe, or God. Now, and again, when they talk about rapport, once you start to break all this down and get clear about it, if you can, Ian, or when I first started training with them, used the word congruence. And I just love that word, because if your environment, is working for you, your behaviour's working for you, your skills and capabilities are aligned, your beliefs, values are aligned, your identity, who you are, it's like who you are, why you're doing what you're doing, if that's all aligned, life is going to be much, much more rewarding.
That actually I feel like I'm completely aligned with what I'm doing.
Yeah,
then. So
I think you are.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. She's amazing, isn't she, this one?
Check me
wow.
out. So if you want to get aligned too, come and speak to me and Toby. We'll sort you out, won't we, Toby?
I'm not aligned. So.
Oh, yeah, no, Toby's really wonky. Don't speak to Toby. Speak to me instead. I think we've got to finish now. That's it.
We're going on, aren't we?
Yeah,
Blimey.
we've done enough.
We've overdone it. But there you go, logical levels. Thanks very much, Robert Dilts.
And Ian McDermott. Logical levels.
Done?
Oh.
She always has to do a little bit at the end.
Oh, yeah. And we might have to edit this out and do it the other way round, because we need to tell everyone about our websites.
Quick then.
Oh, so if you want to find out more about me, please go to my website, which is diptitate.com. You'll go.
And I've been working on my films, actually, so I've put everything up on YouTube, and so it's messages.move.com, and I've got a YouTube channel, but I think that's my name at the moment, Toby Sillence, but I'm not quite congruent with it all. But at some point I'll have a link to the YouTube channel on my website.
We'll get there.
It's not easy, this logical level stuff.
Bye.
Bye.
That was good. We might have to chop that. I have to do the subscription at the end, I have to remember that.
Yeah.
And if you like what we go on about and you want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and here is the lovely bubble of subscription.